Hi, my name is Linda Lowen, and you are listening to this week's episode of 4 Minute Friday. Last week I talked about the election, and either there were no good keywords that showed my video to others, or people were not as interested in that episode. But I do want to talk about it a little bit more this week, but from a different perspective. I was actually working the election, and I worked at the last election as well. And it is really interesting to see democracy in progress, to see how things work. Now, in the polling station where I worked, there was only 4 options of candidates. I understand that in other parts of the city, there were as many as 12 candidates. How do you decide if you don't get any literature and you don't know the person and don't understand what their platform is? It takes a lot of research on the part of the voter to find out exactly who they want to vote for. So I enjoyed being a part of the process, particularly when it came to counting the votes and seeing how that all plays out in a community and seeing how close or how far apart different people are in a particular polling station. It was all very interesting, but it was the next day that was more interesting for me. I'm a lunch supervisor at a local school, and there were some girls talking about the election around me. And one of the girls said, "My dad told me I was too young to even understand about elections." And I thought, I said, maybe you should ask your dad to teach you about democracy. And another girl said, democracy? So they'd not heard that word before. Not surprising, they're only 10 years old. So I decided to let them know a little bit about elections from a perspective that they could understand. So I said, a teacher is reading a book to you, and you have the option of Sam I Am or Green Eggs and Ham. The teacher asks, who wants to read Sam I Am? 5 children raise their hands. She asks, who wants to read Green Eggs and Ham? 10 children raise their hands. So I asked these girls, I said, which book does the teacher read? They all said Green Eggs and Ham because there were 10 people who wanted it. And I said, yes, that's democracy. The majority choose their option. So in this case, it was the book Green Eggs and Ham. The conversation carried on, and then one girl said, oh, my sister is able to vote, but she didn't. And I said, let's use that example again. The teacher wants to read these books, and 5 people raise their hands for Sam I Am. 4 people raise their hands for Green Eggs and Ham. I said, which book is read? They said, Sam I Am. And I said, yes, because that was the vote. Now, if there were 10 people who wanted to read Green Eggs and Ham, but only 4 raised their hand, 4 voted, that means that those 6 people, even though that was not their wish to read Sam I Am, they would have to listen to Sam I Am because they didn't vote. And I said, that's the importance of voting. So I think they got the idea from that example. And it also taught me that it doesn't matter how young the child is, there is an example that you can show them to teach them about any sort of adult subject like elections. And it was also very important for me to see that these kids are really thinking about these issues. In fact, one of them said, if I were Prime Minister, I would make everybody who chops down a tree plant another tree. Aha, we have a future leader, don't we? I want to wish you all a wonderful weekend. I thank you for listening to 4 Minute Friday. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Share it with somebody else who might enjoy hearing about this as well. I'm going to say so long for now. Have a great weekend.